Alright, you know what? I'll let the water aside. I'll do it off stream. But I do want to showcase a little bit behind the scenes for Chippy. Just for fun. You never use Twitter, you're superior. Fair enough. You reject our new Supreme Lord leader, Elon Musk. I see how it is. You will be judged. But not on this stream, don't worry. Alright, let's get rid of that. Capture the thingy. Does that capture? Yeah, it captures. Alright, so a quick walkthrough, just to give you the behind the scenes. So Chippy, as you can see, has a lot of different aspects. Well, first of all, a lot of behind the scenes are happening within the game. Melon Musk. That's a new one. Anywho, UI, how does it work? Simple, it just works. You plop it on the room. It's a bit hard to see, but like you see the faint blue lines? Yeah, that's your room. Everything that goes within here is like within view. And so what you do is you put stuff, you animate the stuff, and it all slides in like that. How do you animate stuff? Well, there's a cool thing called keyframes. You see the little key, you press it, boom, it records it. You move the timeline, boom, you take another snapshot of that. Yeah, it just works. It only takes like an hour. This is the my beloved particle preloader, because Godot 3 has a really silly quirk where for some reason materials and particles can take a bit of time to compile on computers, even high-end computers. So you compile all of that in the start using like all of that shit. So you don't even see this. So when you go to 2D, this is what you see. It's a black screen. You guys don't see any of that, but the trick is that the black screen is 1 pixel, or not 1 pixel, 1 point of opacity. So if I do 255, that's full opacity, that's opaque. And what that does is all the particles that you see behind on the screen, they don't render, so it doesn't do shit. But if you lower it up by at least 1 digit, then it works. All of those things happen in the background. So yeah, boom. Problem solved. What else? Tutorial. How does it work? Well, would you believe it? Oh, would you believe it? There's actually a debug mode where it allows me to move the camera freely. Let me show you. Hold on. If I go to config, actually no, we'll go to globals, and then we enable debug to true. There's also God mode. We can do that. True. And then if we run the project, it does the stuff. I don't think it's recording. Yeah, it's not recording. There we go. Actually, let me go back to my menu. I'll mute it real quick. So you can see like debug and go on the corner. And what that allows you to do is like skip through the faces and even like rotate the camera. Well, at least used to be able to rotate it, now it's kind of worked. But you can in tutorial, I think. Yeah, there we go. You can just like freely move the camera if you want to. Zoom out, zoom in, etc. Let's put those back to false. Alright. Give me a few things you want to see, because I don't know what you guys are interested the most in. Should be an S rank unlock? Perhaps. I don't care, honestly. Like, the game is out, I want to move on to different things right now. And besides, you guys already have, like, God mode enabled, or, like, packaged into the box. If you go to accessibility options. Okay, here's another cool thing that most people are not gonna catch on. Always rendered. So what is always rendered? Good question, because it didn't show up. go. Always rendered is the effects that always render, as the name suggests. So, there's a static noise that happens all the time. Boom, we get rid of that. There's no static. There's chromatic aberration that does like the color kind of like thingy. You know what I mean. There's vignettes. And all of these are light effects. They're not super noticeable, but they do make a difference. Make it more professional. And also the FPS counter and all the debug stuff. The switching between 2D and 3D. I like that. Alright, let's go to camera. Or let's go to player. The player. This is how the player hierarchy is. Just a bunch of timers, bunch of like skeletons and stuff. And you disable the mesh, you can see the skeleton of the character. It's pretty nuts. But yeah, we need to go to the camera script, which is here. And then switching from 2D to 3D is fairly simple. You just need to make sure you do it quickly, otherwise it's very noticeable. So all you do is switch projection, you change the camera projection to orthogonal, and that makes it 2D. Or you can do it to perspective, and that is 3D. And so what you do is you switch it to orthogonal, and when you do that, you also need to make sure that the distance of the camera and the center of the arena is the orthogonal diameter, like dimensions. Kind of like how you measure the dimension of a screen, like of your monitor. It's the same concept. But for some reason, it works really well when you plot the distance from the center as the diameter. But yeah, that's getting a bit too technical. If you're interested in the math, you can download the code and see it for yourself. That's as simple as that, essentially. I can also share a little bit what about the avoidance itself, like how everything is orchestrated, because I feel like that's really cool way of doing avoidances. So everything in the avoidance is done through a timeline or an animation player node, and that includes the colors. So you can see like all the colors changing in the arena here. You see how the lighting changes dynamically. And you can even see like the song. You can basically go to Audacity, measure the song distance and all that, and then use this as a reference, like the wavelengths, just so you can like time the attacks a lot better. And speaking of attacks, you can also do those here. So like you can see there's a shoot function that shoots through projectiles. There's other functions that shoot out projectiles, and the way I organize that is by having spawners. And so phase 1 has this spawner, and the second spawner. Phase 2 has different spawners, and they have all their own logic. Now, is this the best way to do it? Probably not, but it's the one I could think on the spot. But if I had to redo the avoidance again, I would definitely invest more into the, you know, spawning the hazards and all that. Like making a more robust system where you can dynamically switch the projectiles and how the patterns that you spawn them in. Yeah, and the UI is rendered in different layers. So if we switch to 2D, you can see the player HUD again. There's an ability border effects. There's oh yeah, the glow overlay, because oh man, that's a whole technical story. I don't want to get into that. But yeah, it's if you're used to GameMaker, this is a completely different workflow. But it's a very convenient one if you give it the time that's needed to learn how to operate this. Because Godot can definitely be a beast if you know its ins and outs. And there's a lot of great tutorials, like Heartbeast has a couple where he makes an RPG or like a platformer. And GD Quest also has a bunch of cool resources and tutorials as well. Those two guys are my go-to. Oh, for sure. There's like so many cool things I haven't even mentioned yet, but I mean, just like having the built-in UI functionality to make the UI. Like if you go to options, You may think all this took me like ages to make, and it would have if I made it in GameMaker, because that thing has barely any UI tools for you. But here it's just like all nodes. Like you want the I mean it's like mumbo jumbo when you look at this. It's definitely huge. And it didn't take me like a day to make it for sure. It took me like 3 or 4 days, but that's still considerably a little amount of time for all of this. For the options tab. Yeah, I've seen Synth using Godot here and there. Like, yeah, it's just... It's a lot to explain, but trust me, the UI is a lot simpler to operate in here than in GameMaker. You got like horizontal boxes, vertical boxes, and it basically spaces everything for you. Like you can even see how like, yeah, just there's a lot of things that help you out with that. Yeah, GMS2 is trash when it comes to UI. I would not depend even a bit. I've heard they're starting to introduce some UI aspects, some UI tools finally. I mean, it took them like how many years? 20? It's ridiculous. Such a common aspect in games and they haven't implemented it. Shaders. Shaders is another really cool thing. You see how the background is animated and all that? Yeah, that's because shader magic. This one uses vertex manipulation. It's definitely... I'm not saying GMS2 is trash, by all means, it's a great engine, especially if you're starting. It's just UI-wise, it is trash. It is the objective truth. Yes, GMS2 is miles better at GMS1. I don't know why people are so hesitant trying out GMS2. But yeah, vertex manipulation is where you grab the little dots that make the mesh or the 3D object, and then you start like tweaking them and make them go up and down. And this one's pretty simple. Let me see if I can find the thingy, skybox. So you even see like the colors and all that. But if you go to geometry and you click the shader tab, there you go. You got like all the parameters, the shader code, and you can like tweak it IRL. And you'll see the changes in the editor, which is very, very handy. You don't have to compile the game whatsoever. You just see it in the editor. Pirating GMS2 subscription is possible. you know, I keep bringing this up, but the subscription system is fine. I know I'm in the minorities by saying this, but it is completely fine. Because all you do is you make the game, because you have all the features available from the get-go for free. And once you have the game finished, you subscribe for 1 month. That's like a lot of people think, oh, I have to be subscribed to use GameMaker. No, GameMaker is like completely fully featured out of the box, and you only have to subscribe to export it. So I don't see why people are bitching about it all the time. It's reasonable. Now, if you had to subscribe to use the GameMaker like to its fullest extent, because it had an object limit or something like that? Yeah, that's dumb. I'd agree with you. You know what you can do? I think you can zip the what do you call it? The GameMaker project file, like do a compressed version of that, and send it to a friend who has the license, and then he can compile it for you. You can definitely make free games in GameMaker too. You just need to know a couple of people who have the subscription. But yeah, you don't have friends? Well, you get the fan game community. I'm sure someone can pass you. Someone can compile it for you. Oh yeah, there's like a... Oh, I do want to share one thing. This one's cool. The way I animated the animations for the player. So behold, animation trees. What are they? Are they edible? Well... no, they're not quite edible, but they make cool animations, and especially in 3D, it makes your life way easier. So you can, for example, blend the running, and you can see the character starting to slowly run. You can ease it and tweak it to not run anymore. You can also switch it to airborne, and it will like start falling or going up. You can also do a jump animation here, blend the going up and down. It is really fascinating how easy you can animate stuff in 3D like that. But that is something that was like eye-opening for me the first time I tried it. But yeah, stereo also... I think people notice there's stereo audio in the game. And you have to put like an ear node called the listener. And it basically listens for audio sources. But I find the stereo out of the box too distracting. So what I did is you go to the audio bus. And you can even add audio effects. Like, you know how Fmod... People use Fmod to do like under the water effects and all that shit. This is also a built-in feature in the engine. So if you go to stereo enhance, you do pan pull out, lower it to 0.5, and now the stereo is more like closer to mono, but you can still hear the difference slightly. That's one trick I used for the audio. But yeah, a bunch of stuff like that. If you're really interested and you want to learn more how all this works, go to the HIO page, download the source code, and then you're good to go. You can check how everything works. And if you're if you want me to pass the H link, give me a second. There we go. Yeah, they're calling me for the anime. Yo, Redstone, what's up, man? You just came at the time where I'm finishing the stream. I'm so sorry. But yeah, like Chippy, cool game. I'm really proud of it. I was just showing like some features and stuff I discovered whilst I was working on it. You'll copy paste the code and release it for $10. Eh, be my guess. I don't care. But yeah, that's all for the stream. Can you show you your progress then? Sure, go for it. I want to see what you made. Oh shit, it's a Corbrix game. Yo. Very pog, very slay. Oh man. I'm happy for you, man. That looks pretty cool. Yeah. The business. So true. You even got 11 dono? Damn, congrats, man. I'm glad for you, buddy. Deserve it. I was just like showing the progress for Chippy, which was my last game I released. Just yeah. I tossed the link already earlier, but I can resend it again in case you missed it. It's completely free on itch.io, so if you want to try it out, give it a shot. But yeah, here's the link again. Go play Chippy if you haven't, and I shall see you guys some other time. Maybe tomorrow even. We'll see how it goes. But yeah. I shall go visit my friends and watch some anime before they get furious. I mean, they don't get furious, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Well, you need to be the dependable fella and all that. Show on time. Yeah, no problem, Coffins. And everyone else. I appreciate you for sticking around, watching the stream. A lot of fun. And it's been a while since I had like this many viewers as well. But yeah, y'all still chill. Stay awesome as always, and I'll see you next time. Have a good night.